we are back on some Apex Legends. And the cool thing about today is we're going to be trying to play some ranked league solo. This is like a thing in the community where a lot of people avoid this at all costs, and I don't blame them. But for me, this is something I've done season 15, season 12, season 8. The times that I was really grinding Apex Legends, I was able to get to Diamond several seasons this way. And this previous season, I got to Diamond and Platinum. Now, I have my spurts with Apex, right? I'll pick this game up and put it right back down and not think twice about it. But this time, I want to see if I can just show you guys my thought process when it comes to playing Apex, and then how I'm able to at least win games and handle these situations with teammates. So we landed at Skeleton, got looted up pretty well, and you see I have a Gibby and an Octane on my team. Now one guy does have a mic and he was responding occasionally, but I saw a lifeline at the distance recently calling a care package, so I figured with my charge rifle, let's see if I can run them off from that location or see if they're gonna stick around and stay there. Well, I noticed they continued to stay there, so we started to push up after we got the loot that we needed. Of course, it would be nice to have like a purple shield or a gold or something like that. But from here now, my Gibby is starting to push up a little bit too much. And I'm telling him to go ahead and just come back. Make sure he knows that he's by himself because the Octane went inside the building instead of pushing with him. But this Pathy on the other team decided to get aggressive. So now we know they have a Pathfinder and also a lifeline. So from here, I'm thinking I need to reposition, maybe get some type of high ground or a better position where I can fight. Now at this point, I couldn't tell who was on the second floor there, so I started chucking nades just to see if I can actually get some type of contact with them. Of course I missed, but then I'm listening around, I hear somebody shooting at the rooftop. So I'm like, let me go ahead and rush up here really quick, and I was wrong, somebody dropped down. And lo and behold, it was the Pathfinder that was still up there, got the final kill on that, and so now I can get people rezzed and we can continue to move forward and I can just provide cover. So now we're at this point where we're making our first real rotation in the game. You see I have the crafting materials enough to be able to recraft my teammates if they go down and I can't retrieve their banners. And with this circle, where we're at right now, we just want to try to maintain our positioning. We don't want to really chase any KP outside the circle. So we finally made it to our rotational point here where we wanted to be near this little town that we have. So we have loot, we also have a little bit of cover, a res beacon, a teleportation if we wanted to fly overhead. But also the Gibby noticed that there was a team inside of this building and he had a plan that he was unsure about, which he wanted to go up top, he had his ultimate, and when they were done looting and going against the AI in there, that we could just throw down his ult, I can throw down my Loba, get us some grenades, and kind of fish this team out of this hole really quick, especially with this bubble, and see if that gives us an opportunity with at least 1 or 2 KP on that as a team. But you notice that they're still fighting, so we're getting in position here, so I decided to go ahead and just throw down my black market really quick because the Gibby was asking, does everybody have grenades? I noticed I only had 1. I don't think the Octane had any, so we decided to both grab thermites. It had an arc star there, and I wanted to make sure I at least had some shield just in case things got pretty hectic. So go ahead, we noticed that they pulled out their last bit of loot there. So when the gold loot starts to show up, I know what time it is. So I got my grenades ready, he was getting his ultimate ready, and at this point, we noticed that they had a Bangalore call in as well. So we know that they have a Bangalore on their team, and that helps us out. So now we also see they have a Valkyrie. I'm throwing in the grenades, trying to get a little bit of damage. You see we're hitting nothing but flesh. I drop down, get the knock, and the other two decided to dip super quick. So they left their teammate in cold blood. And so now at this point, we know we have 1 knock, and I don't think they're coming back for their teammates. So with me being able to have Loba's passive ability, I decided to go in and just start pinging loot for my teammates. That way, if they needed something really quick, we can go ahead and get them situated, and we don't have to worry about too much going forward for the rest of the game. So now we're at a comfortable point, I believe, that we can go ahead and start advancing back into the city that we were trying to hold down. And I noticed in the distance, there was another team fighting the team that literally just launched off. So at this point, it's a matter of just getting shots off, causing a little bit more damage, and also staying near cover. So that's one thing I'm trying to get better at, is taking positioning and also working to cover. And at this point, the Gibby is mentioning to me that it'll be a good idea to go ahead and just take this building, get some type of positioning where if there are multiple teams here, which with 10 squads left, we know that for a fact, that we might as well just have something to hold down. Now, by me here, I shouldn't be out in the open firing a charge rifle. I'm an easy Kraber shot from anybody in the game. But at this point, I figured they're not even concerned with us. I see one knock, decided to laser in on this guy, and I probably shouldn't have, but I got that extra KP, and I didn't notice to the left of my screen that a Pathfinder actually went away from us. So they're looting, and I'm just trying to get some more shots on the down guy because I don't want them to get a cheap res. And this is where me and my team communicate here. Me and the Gibby are saying, yo, this guy's behind the rock. Let's go ahead and focus up on him. If I can get him cracked, Octane can throw down his pad and we can go ahead and push that. So Octane throws down the pad, laser him for 60, hit him for about 9, told him, hey, go ahead and go. He's weak. We can push him together. He slings away. And at this point, you know, we aren't hitting our shots. And I think that's what it comes down to there. We weren't hitting our shots, and I decided to go ahead and go over there with my team. So I took a major hit there. So at this point, it's time to just heal, and we need to go ahead and go back to where we had positioning because of where the circle is and how we can rotate this later on. Because I didn't know if that team that we were just shooting at was going to go around the rock to potentially try to cut us off. And my Octane said he needed some ammo.
Anyone up for some shopping? We've got 30 seconds.
So we got 30 seconds till the storm closes in on us, and I had a Vantage just eyeing me down her scope, which I shouldn't have taken that peek, but that's okay. And we're trying to plan a rotation here. I figured it's better to be low ground versus coming out of that door because she can already aim at that door clearly. It's going to be okay for her. So let's get some shots in, see if I can get a little damage, and then she pegs me. So I'm like, all right, I'm done with that engagement. Let's go ahead and find a way to rotate around, and hopefully we don't get tagged by her while we're going away. So we already had the pad there. It's time to work our way around the rock. And the goal overall is to the east of this, we want to go ahead and see if we can take the high ground on this area. So now we know that this team that we were fighting earlier is low ground. Perfect opportunity to charge these boys up, get some mean damage. I'm slow to reload because I know one of them is hurt. Let's see if we can hit our shots, and we do. 86 damage inflicted, but then I noticed that they do have a lifeline, so I'm making sure they don't get an opportunity. But I'm still getting tagged in the process, so now it's a matter of positioning, and I need to be better about getting to cover. That's like my Achilles heel when I'm with this charge rifle on high ground. I just get tunnel vision, and I'm like, I can outplay these people. So now we're working to our next rotation, trying to figure out a good place to be. And you see I'm tagging right now, right? They're not going to come back over this way now because we're doing some major damage. I finally got that red Evo, so I'm a walking tank at this point and closing in on 1,000 damage. And there's only 4 squads left. So at this point, it's just a matter of positioning, finding out where we want to be, and cover. And so now the Gibby's trying to ping to get closer to this far south side of the map, which is okay. But I see this team over here, so I'm calling out to these guys like, hey, we have this south side team kind of like sold up. If we can get shots on them, we can pretty much get those guys out the game pretty quick. And then I noticed to the far south there, my Octane is engaging with a whole different team. Now, at this point, I'm letting him know he needs to win his one-on-one, and he doesn't have any cover or any help there. So now I'm trying to get some shots, see if I can help him out a little bit, and that bow check is starting to sling by me. I ain't trying to get hit by that. But at this point in the game, we have the information that I believe that will put us in a winning situation, right? So one, we know where the 2 teams are. We have one to the south and one directly north of us, but we don't know where that 4th team is. And so I'm just taking a look around to see like, where's this extra person or extra team that we aren't seeing. And at this point, I don't want to put myself out of position to chase this team that I see directly northeast of me. So I'm just chilling behind this rock. and I'm trying to just make sure if I have positioning, I know I can keep everything in front of me, we'll have prime position to win. And this is when I noticed the last team, this lone wraith in the distance. I decided to get some damage on it. Hopefully I get an assist out of it, and didn't get the KP necessarily, but hey, it is what it is. So now that one's gone. Circle's closing in, get major damage on the Pathfinder, and that for me is going to be some extra KP. So now let's make sure we keep position. And at this point, there's 2 teams left. So one thing, I'm looking at this rock. We know it's a vantage, but we don't know if there's a second person behind the rock. And that was the concern we had. So I'm tagging. At this point, I say, Octane, if you have your pad, go ahead and jump on them because they're completely weak. I threw a grenade, thought I could get damage, and he decided to ape. So now I have my 2 teammates aping, and that's okay. The main thing I want to focus on is just keeping positioning where I'm at. So I want to keep this high ground at all costs, because if the vantage continues to run, she's going to run right into me. But also I'm telling my Octane, yo, you do not have to ape this. Put yourself in a position for success. And so they decided to do a pinch maneuver, and look, we got that dub that was needed in this game. I felt like I played that really well, ended with 1500 damage and the 4 knocks, and they only gave me 1 assist, unfortunately. But then we got that 234 adjusted score. So hey, I think it turned out pretty good for us. And if you enjoyed this commentary, thought-provoking style of content where I'm pretty much putting you in the mind of what I'm going through in the process of making the moves that I'm making with randoms, let me know in the comment section. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And hey, I'll see you guys in the next one with more Apex Legends content.